David MacKinnon.
David MacKinnon.
MacKinnon!
しています。レフトへ伸びていくか、下がって狙った見上げた。
Welcome back to Pacific Swings. I am Jasper Spanjaart, documentary filmmaker who pivoted to podcasting because apparently that's what we all do now.
I'm Dave MacKinnon here, former professional clubhouse guy, vibes guy, occasional first baseman. Played in Japan, Korea, and the United States. Studied a lot of swings, tried to swing like the swings I studied. Did not go well. But now I do this with Jasper, you know?
Occasional first baseman is also doing like a lot of heavy lifting there, I feel like.
Yeah, I played 127 games though in Japan, 127.
That's not bad. But yeah, clubhouse vibes guy, I'll give you that. Pretty good, dude.
Someone's got to keep the morale high when you're only hitting 220 in May, you know? That was my specialty, not the 220 in May. That happens a couple times though, but the keeping the morale high was my specialty.
I was about to say, you hitting 220, like
I did do that,
job, dude. That's true. I mean, if you do that consistently,
I actually remember I ended my Japanese April at 257. Pretty decent April, seeing pitching for the first time, and then like the first 5 games of May didn't get a hit, down to 220.
Jeez.
And then I hit a homer off Yamamoto. If you didn't know, I hit a homer off Yamamoto. Yeah.
You never
that guy
mentioned
that threw
this.
that playoffs complete game. Yeah.
Hit
a homer off Yamamoto, and I'm running around the bases, and I'm like, this is the best I'm ever gonna do. This is all I have. Okay.
You're done.
I mean, I can ride off into the sunset right now. I can retire. I'm gonna retire hitting 226. In Japan, but I hit a homer off Yamamoto.
All right, we're talking today about guys who definitely didn't need to be clubhouse vibes guy, not guys who hit 220. These are the hit 340 and 40 homers guys.
Yeah, those are completely different guys than me. Completely different job description. Those are the guys that kind of just have to worry about performance and kind of being like, hey, vibes guy, shut up, you know?
So for those who don't follow us on Twitter, first of all, I mean, you should. We threw out a poll last week asking what sort of content you wanted to see next. We've been doing a bunch of interviews, and it wasn't even close. It just wasn't close.
No, it wasn't close at all. Like 65% of people said breakdown Japanese players that are probably getting posted or are getting posted for sure, which I get. I mean, it's the most exciting time of the offseason. MLB fans want to know who's coming over. NPB fans want to see what teams their guys are going to go to. Obviously, it hurts sometimes for the NPB fans as, you know, they're going to lose a superstar. So we definitely feel for you there. But hopefully the money you get back for your superstar is going to help build the team in the future.
Yeah, and at some point we want to do a sort of explanatory podcast, I guess, to see how the posting system really works, because I think for me getting into that side of baseball has been, part of it is quite confusing, you know, the rules of being like under 25 either a restricted free agent or like signing as an international bonus pool money guy and essentially having to sign a really small contract compared to what you get a few years later. That's obviously what happened to Roki Sasaki, but we'll do that at some point. But today we're talking about two of the biggest bats of Japanese baseball, guys who could and will likely be in MLB uniforms as soon as next season.
Yeah, I mean, two of the, I would say, biggest sluggers that could potentially come out of Japan next decade, maybe 2 decades. Kazuma Okamoto of the Yomiuri Giants and Munetaka Murakami of the Yakult Swallows. 2 absolute monsters who I got to watch play.
That's what sort of makes it special, because you played in the Pacific League, of course, with the Seibu Lions, as we like to mention in every episode. But these guys are in the Central League. I mean, you still saw them, right?
Yeah. You see them. You only get a couple of games against them, but I also got to see them play in the WBC during that time because it was hosted in Japan. So I got to see them play there, and then I see videos of them all the time, and you hear the rumors of the 2022 season from Murakami. So it was fun to get to see these guys firsthand. Now, when I did show up to Japan, I had no idea who Okamoto was. I knew Murakami because of the 22 season. kind of Okamoto is kind of making a name for himself at that point.
I know you're a big study guy, so you studied the swings of Mike Trout earlier on in your career to revamp your own swing. But are these guys that you looked at, and when highlights were showing in the locker room, you were sort of taking a close eye, or if you were playing those teams in interleague games, were you watching them?
Yeah, I mean, whenever there's somebody that's really good up, especially Murakami during the game, you can't watch him too much because he's a lefty, and I might get smoked with a baseball, So, I'm really locked in on just like trying not to die at first base when a big lefty's up. Okamoto's up, yeah. You kind of just watch, and you're just like, gosh. Like I remember he had a good game against us at the Tokyo Dome. He drove in a couple runs. He hit a double to left center field. Like he just stays on pitches better than a lot of guys. His bat just stays through the zone for a long time. He doesn't release the barrel too early. Just creates good direction towards right center field, and that barrel just stays in the zone forever. So he stays on off-speed pitches really well.
That's a sort of preview of what we're doing today. So we're going to break down both swings, talk about how their games might translate to MLB, and I guess we do some healthy speculation about where they potentially land in the MLB.
Lots of speculation.
One of the situations is quite rare, Okamoto, because we're talking about the team, the Yomiuri Giants, that has never posted a position player like ever in the history of Japanese professional baseball. So that's pretty unique. He's got one of the most proven track records that you can probably find, hitting wise. Without further ado, I think we'll delve into it. Okamoto, he's 29 years old, as we just alluded to, just finished the 2025 regular season with the Giants. Had a bit of an injury-riddled season, to be fair. And when you look at his stats page, you'll see 2025 struggled a bit with injuries, still hit, very, very well. 327 average for a slug of 598 and an OBP of 416. Coincidentally, that's his biggest OBP number that he's ever posted in all of his MPB career. Doubling that up with 15 homers in 69 games. You hit 15 homers in Japan, didn't you?
Yeah, it's only 127 games, but yeah, same thing, But
Same
yeah,
thing. Same thing.
if you look at it, he's still on pace for his 30 homers in a full season. The big difference there is the averages tick higher in the 69 games and the on base percentage. He's always slugged, and obviously, the more hits you get, the higher your slug. The more bases you end up getting, the higher the slug, right? So, he still had all the power numbers. It's like, can you stay healthy? In Japan, season's just so long, right? So their superstars aren't working after the season as much, but like after that season ends, they usually are working through November, still practicing through November. They have December and January off, but most of these guys just take December off, and then they're back to camp in January where they're trying to get ready to go to camp. And camp starts at the very end of January. That's a long season, right? So as you're approaching 30 years old, injuries happen. So I think the move over where they're doing a little bit more maintenance for the older guys, a little bit more like you have it your own way. You can create your own schedule, really, that like make sure your body stays right, could help Okamoto just stay healthier, and just like maybe some different training methods and some different things will help him just maintain health throughout the entire year. But there's a lot more travel in the States too, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, it's just always so interesting to see how someone's skill set can translate from one environment to the other, right? And looking at Okamoto's track record, I was lucky enough to see him in 2023 with the Giants at the Tokyo Dome. There's just this sort of aura about him, right?
Yeah.
When you look at just the amount of homers that he's got, he's obviously got. 2023 was actually his best season in terms of homers. No coincidence there. David MacKinnon was in the country, so
that makes total sense. I was in the country.
The homers just started happening then. Yeah,
not for me, but the homers happened. I will say, the Tokyo Dome is a good place to hit. Okay, so in regards to our two guys going over, Okamoto and Murakami, they both play in. It's not a hitter-friendly league, right? But they definitely both play in hitter-friendly parks. Tokyo Dome has, and like a lot of the Japanese fields have this, it's almost like really short down the lines, like 325, 330, and it pushes out a lot. So it's not like the American-style ball field where it kind of goes straight across, and there's like some like different weird dimensions. And Like, if you don't hit it down the lines, you gotta hit it, you know? Tokyo Dome is different where it just kind of goes straight out to center field and kind of come, you know what I'm saying? It's like straight. There's no push out. So it's a good place to hit. It's inside, so the humidity doesn't play a factor. So is he like, if he plays at a different field, I don't know if he's a 30-40 guy. But to hit 30-40 with that baseball is absurd. I'm just throwing that out there, right? If that was a big league baseball, he's hitting 40-50, you know?
That's the point I was just about to make, because
so like, I'm not knocking it. He just has a lot of power, and he is in a hitter-friendly park in a not hitter-friendly league with a not hitter-friendly baseball.
It could be nice to perhaps also, because I mean you've analyzed so many swings. Maybe it's good to sort of roll up some video to show the folks what we're sort of talking about and what makes Okamoto a special creature.
Yeah,
we'll do that now.
So let's just look right at his setup. He's pretty stacked on his backside, and you can see that his hands are straight over his foot. You know, that's just a good setup position. Looks like to me about 80% of his weight's on his backside, little bit on the front side, and then we'll start to clip, and he rocks back, but that back hip doesn't move. Hands are going back, hands slowly come forward and get into that slot where they connect to the back hip, and that back elbow connects to the hip. And once that happens, that's our power position where we just get that barrel out through center field. And it looks like to me that's an off-speed pitch that he stays on, and he's able to drive it, looks like, to right center field. But see how extended he is through his finish and how short and compact his finish is. He almost stops everything right at center field. It's a good swing. It's a consistent swing. There's not many moving parts. You see the leg kick, you see the hands, but there's not much movement to those hands, you know? It sequences really well where when he moves back, his hands kind of hold, and then his hands go back to get that separation. Like, it's not like an immediate, like he's not colliding. He's separating good, and then this elbow kind of slots in. And when that elbow slots in, everything connects, and that's when we can really get through the baseball. So
it just looks like a swing that'll play.
Easy.
It'll play.
It's an easy,
anywhere.
repetitive swing, and I think it will play anywhere. Now, I think we have the higher upside with Okamoto, personally. Like, I think that Murakami will get paid more. I think Okamoto might have the better next 5 years.
Okay.
That would be my projection.
Yeah, obviously the age difference is there, right? 4 years of age difference. So
yeah.
Okamoto's 29, Murakami's 25, and you sort of think if these guys were both 25 years old, I think that would vastly change how we look and perceive Okamoto. Because we'll delve into Murakami, so we'll stick with Okamoto right now. One of the stats I read about him is that he led the NPB in batting average against pitches of 93 miles an hour and above.
150 kilometers over, he led and I mean, the reality is you're not facing that all the time. There's a lot of pitchers in the NPB that max at 93, you know, that they'll be 88 to 92 with a 2-seamer, a 4-seamer, a cutter, a splitter, a changeup, a curveball, and a slider. You know, like, they'll have 6 different pitches, and they won't throw you 1-2 times in a row, you know?
Yeah.
So the ability to hit for average in that league with that baseball is skill in itself, right? But to hit for average and be like with that style of pitching is just that's tough. And then have the ability to still drive the ball over the fence. You know, it just shows you how good he is. To hit over 300 in this league is absurd.
It is.
Number one, you need to cut down on punch outs, because if you're punching out a lot, you just don't leave yourself chances to hit 300.
I mean, he had 33 punchies in 69 games.
Yeah, so I mean, that is
33 times.
That's way down for him normal, I think.
It's a little down. Yeah, it's a little down. Yeah, because I mean,
if you're punching out half the time or half the amount of games you're playing, that's not very much.
No,
that's probably that's probably a 12% clip, which is really good.
Yeah, it's even less, I think, because he had plate appearances 293, so that's a little bit more, 12%. You were dead on. It's almost like you're good with numbers.
Really good with these numbers. I have no, just for the viewers, okay? I don't have any of this stuff at home. I just do the numbers. I'm like, if you're punching out half of the games, you're averaging about 4.5 at bats a game. You double that. That's one punch out and 8.5 at bats. There we are, 12-ish. That's 12-ish percent right there.
Insane. Like I'm like, I've got all these statistics right in front of me. Dave's just doing this. It's just
I just do it. Okay.
So good to get people that insight about you.
They
you know?
don't realize
they
that
don't
I'm
know.
just
They
over
don't
here
realize.
winging it, dude. I'm over here just like thinking up numbers, you know.
And it's still working out. Yeah.
It's pretty funny. The biggest thing is too, like, if you can hit the 88 to 92, pretty good, right? Because you're getting 6 or 7 pitches. Now, when you still have the ability to hit the 93, 95, the harder guys. Now, he did in 2022 take a 100-mile-an-hour heater from Sasaki dead center at the Tokyo Dome. So it's not like he can drive 100 too,
And I think that's exactly why his skill set will translate, because
I believe that too. That's why I think I think he's got the higher ceiling for me.
It's funny you say that, because it's weird to say ceiling when he's 29. You never know, right? You never truly know. But I think this guy will be able to transition very well to whatever team he ends up signing with. We'll speculate in a little bit, leave that for a bit. First, we delve into, I think the big one everyone's been waiting for.
For years now.
It's been coming. It's really been coming, because this guy, he flat out, a guy that just rakes. Dave just alluded to his special 2022 season. 56 home runs. 56 in NPB.
56 homers that was with the dead ball still. They had the dead balls that year.
Exactly.
Once again, hitter-friendly park. But I played in a hitter-friendly park in Samsung Lions, and I hit 4, okay? So, you guys got to chill out with the whole, it's a hitter-friendly park, it's a small field,
Short porch Yankees.
It doesn't matter. You still got to hit the ball over the fence, it's still hard. You still got to actually hit the ball forward in the air, and it has to be 98 miles per hour to 100 miles per hour or harder to get it over the fence,
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those, yeah.
56 homers, 56. Dude. That's a lot of homers.
That is a lot of homers. 134 RBI that season too. That's probably the best hitter season. Is it the best hitter season ever in NPB? I can't. Obviously, in recent history,
compared to the season, compared to league average, yeah, I think it is probably.
Yeah, it has to be.
Maybe not. They had the balls juice back then. Dudes were on steroids in the 90s when they would go over to when the foreigners would go over, and they just had these huge dudes just hitting 45 homers every year. And I'm like, dang, dude, should have been from the 90s. If I was a 90s guy, man, gosh.
With Murakami, I think the biggest, and that's been going on since his rookie year, right? The strikeouts. The strikeouts can be a bit of an issue. Let's just call it what it is. You look at his 2019 season, his official rookie season, where he played the entire season with the Swallows. Bat for an average of 231. Struck out 184 times. Now I'll let Dave do the math. How many? That's
an issue. Okay, my math's telling me right there.
Yeah, Dave's
that's a little bit of an issue. Okay, so say that one more time.
Yeah, so he average of 231.
Yep.
Struck out 184 times in 143 games.
Yeah. So
that's 2019.
Okay. Yeah. So I played in the MLB, played in the NPB, played in the KBO. It is a lot easier not to strike out in the NPB and in the KBO than it is to not strike out in the big leagues. The velocity is just a lot harder. When the velocity is a lot harder, you have less time to react to the fastball, and then it gives you less time to react to the breaking ball, less time to make decisions, and it gives say we have a Blake Trinan, right? Let's just give an example. 95, 96 mile an hour, usually sinkers, but he has the four seam that we saw Bryce Turan swing through the other night because he was looking for the sinker and he swung at a pitch that was over his head almost. But you're looking for a two-seamer, right? And then you're looking for this. But your eyes say, all right, it's got to start right down the middle end or it's going to start middle away for this two-seamer to be hittable. If it starts middle or middle end, it's going to maybe hit me or it's going to be a ball. So I'm looking for this two-seamer middle away. If he throws it there, I'm going to hit it. And then you start your swing because that ball's right where it starts. But shoot, it's a slider. And then it's in the other batter's box and you swung.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what the heck? Like, why are they swinging at that? It's because you have to, because you thought it was a fastball and it wasn't, and you were wrong, and the ball went the wrong direction. That's why you swung at that pitch. My concern with Murakami is that's going to happen more because you have less time to decide. And the concerning part is he's not good against high velocity pitching. He hammers off speed pitches, but he's not particularly good against high velocity, like the 150 and over, the 93-mile-an-hour heater. He's like one of the worst in the league against it. And he's not going to see a fastball that's less than that in the big leagues, you know?
And I think you've hit the nail on the head, because that's even when you look at his recent season. So 2024 was healthy the entire year, bat for an average of 244 with 33 homers, but again 180 strikeouts, and that's recently,
that's
right?
the concerning thing, because like I think when I was in the MPB, it was just I think I had 80 something strikeouts maybe. And don't get me wrong, there's some nasty pitchers in that league. Like I struck out against my Yamamotos, my Sasaki's, there's dudes that are going to punch your ticket. But there's also dudes that you're not going to get your ticket punched. And if you're getting your ticket punched, that's concerning. You know what I'm saying? Like you should not get your ticket punched against the 87-mile-an-hour lefty, you know? It's like you got to find a way to put the barrel on that ball, or at least get something to it and give yourself a chance to hit the ball forward, you know? So to have 184 strikeouts, you do that out, you're averaging about a strikeout and a quarter a game, right? That's a lot of strikeouts. So you're punching out, you're punching out, a lot. I don't know. I don't even know how to do that.
Dave's
I've never seen, it was like, usually if you're striking out more than once a game, that's an issue, you know? So...
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse punch-out numbers when you come over to the States because of the less time you have to react.
No, absolutely. And 2025, both of these guys had an injury-riddled season. 2025, Murakami struggled with an oblique injury and only played in 56 games.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that's not a lot of games. But he did homer 22 times.
No, that's what I mean. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Like 22 homers
you're forecasting
games.
what I was about to say. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm like, that's ridiculous pace.
He's
on pace for his monster season again. He's on pace for like 60 homers.
He was on pace for the best season he'd ever have. We'll also pair this up with the video that we similarly to. Yeah, we're a big video company. Pacific Swings are all about that video. So Murakami, I think this is actually a swing from his 2022 season.
Yeah, let's just look at the setup real quick. Very similar setup. His hands are actually a little bit farther behind his back foot. If you can see that, Okamoto's was really on top of his back. His hands were on top of his foot. Still stacked on that backside. Hips are like preset and coiled. The front arm is getting close to barred at setup, which is interesting. That's probably the reason why his hands are past his back foot. That makes his arms kind of extend a tick more, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing. Personally, I don't like starting almost in a arm bar position. So we'll see how that plays out. But, we're just speculating here. We don't know. But we'll start the clip, and he's kind of a holder, Now, I do see with Murakami, he holds. His hands don't really move much, which I think that could be why he doesn't create any sort of rhythm and timing. I think Okamoto's hands move a little bit more, so there's a little more timing and adjustability in there.
Mm-hmm.
But he does hip coil a little bit better. He gets those hips closed. There's a little bit more movement of like back into the hip and then forward. And I think that's why he can produce more power, but that's also why there's a little bit more swing and miss in his game. I will say, if you go and look at Murakami's swing, when you see their elbow slotting when you see the back hip, when it connects to the back hip, you can see his hands almost get to his belt. Like that's how low they get. I will say Okamoto's is very similar. Their hands kind of come across the zone very consistently, not just low pitches, it's like higher pitches too. with the lower strike zone, you have to cover lower pitching. Like, you don't have to worry about the pitch up. So if you see a lot of MLB guys, when their hands come across, their hands almost come across their chest, and they use their posture to hit the lower pitches. Even like the lower pitch, they're using like kind of a side bend to hit it. Their hands are coming across their chest. I do think if these guys are going to have success, they need their hands to be coming across a little bit higher. You can't have your barrel be drop. You can't have your hands be dropping, because you're going to not have control of that barrel as much. When you don't have control of your barrel against high speed fastballs that are 95 plus, it's very hard to get on top of them.
You're gonna have
So
a
that's
tough
one
life, yeah.
thing that I think both of them will have to adjust to, is getting their kind of slot to be a little bit higher and more direct to the ball, and not so kind of like loopy behind it. But I mean, dude, who knows? Maybe they just do the same thing and rake. You don't know. That's the one thing that I see where they're just a little bit different than some of the guys that are having the most success over in the States, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good insights there straight from the swing doctor himself.
Yeah.
So we've broken down the swings, but let's get to the fun part, which is
the fun part is, I would say, where are they going? Where are they going to
Exactly.
go? Also, I would like to talk about just the free agency real quick, because I have heard people in the past just be like, I mean, why doesn't he come over? If he's so good in Japan, why doesn't he just come over and play in the major leagues?
You should have done a
And it's
Boston
like,
accent with that.
Yeah.
That would have, if you paired that up with a Boston accent, that would have been perfect.
It would have been funny, or New York accent or something. I mean, yeah, if he's so, I can't. If you have a Boston accent, you got to swear. I can't do that. We got
We can
Not
bleep
rated
it out.
R.
It's fine. Go for it. We bleep it out.
No, we're good. We're good. When he had his 56 homer season, it's like, well, why didn't he come over? Well, if he comes over when he's 22 years old, you're going to make a max. I believe the max of the bonus pool money for international free agents is 7 million. Roki Sasaki made 6.5 million. That might be the max actually now. So you have to wait till you're over 25 to make that big money, So Yamamoto waited till his 25-year-old season, and he could sign a full free agent deal like guys in the big leagues, that like your Mookie Betts, your Aaron Judge, who's made 400, your Bryce Harper, who's 300 something. Soto's making 700 something. We got Ohtani making the 700, which is deferred, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, NPB teams don't want to post you, because they're not going to make any money off your $6.5 million signing bonus. They'll make like $1 million. That's it. Not enough for them. Why would they hand over years of a good player to get $1 million in return? So they wait till Yamamoto turns 25. They ship him off, and they make like 50, 60, 70 million dollars for that transaction,
Yeah.
and Yamamoto gets his 325. So the player makes a lot, the team makes a lot, and that's how it works. It's not like,
Win-win.
yeah, it's not like they're just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to stay here because I don't want to go challenge myself. That's not what's happening here. Also with Okamoto, and so SoftBank Hawks and Giants never post anyone. So this is unheard of. Like when you sign with the Giants or the Hawks, you are under the impression that you are not getting posted until you are international free agent. Like Shiano went after he was an international free agent, like not posted, like did his whole thing. Same with guys that have signed over with SoftBank. They know they're not going anywhere. They're going to make their money and they're staying. Like, you don't ask the Giants or the SoftBank Hawks to post you. So this is like uncharted territory right now for the Giants.
Yeah, which makes it more interesting. But let's do some comps before we delve into the money matters. Who does Okamoto remind you of in MLB? Is there anyone that you think you look at and you go, I can see a bit of that in him? Or
he's a tough one, man.
I think so too. I struggle with it.
Because I'm trying to think of like maybe a first baseman that has the ability to hit for power and for average. And like the swing doesn't really remind me of anyone specifically, because the Japanese guys have such unique swings. Like it's just different than the American style swing, a lot of leg movement, a lot of like control of the hands, a lot of balance. I'm more just thinking like the profile. It could be kind of like a little bit of a Pete Alonso type. That's the only thing I can really think of right now. I think Pete Alonso with a higher average and maybe less home runs. You know, plays decent defense, nothing crazy. What are you thinking?
Really, the prime years of Abreu, Jose Abreu with the White Sox. He could hit for average quite a bit,
Yep.
and he had the pop. He had homers.
You know who else? If we're going like kind of back into the day, just the style of hitting would be Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah, can see that.
The lefty would like pepper opposite field and still had the ability to hit 30 homers, but he also was a consistent 280 hitter, you know?
Yeah, because I think realistically, a team is gonna, because I know Okamoto played majority of the time at first base for the Giants. I think he played a bit of third too, or did
They
he
used
not?
to.
Yeah.
And then I think they moved their older shortstop, Sakamoto. I think they were kind of moving him to third and letting a couple younger guys play the middle infield. So
Right.
I believe he played more at first. Obviously, there's no DH either, so you need to have him in the lineup. And he's not a bad first baseman.
No, he's not. He's
by no
fine.
means. But at third, you're not going to see him play third base in the big leagues.
No, so realistically, what I was trying to say is like we'll see him at DH or we'll see him at first.
Yeah. Both of them will be seen
Both of
at
them.
first or DH.
No,
They
no,
won't
I
be
agree.
touching third base.
Murakami then.
Yeah.
It's another. It's hard to think of comparisons.
Yeah, because you can't think of comparisons to the actual swing. You just kind of got to think of like the comps of like style of hitting. I mean,
I think-
Murakami could be like an Adam Dunn. Like just super high strikeouts, but he could hit 60 homers for you, you know?
I
don't know if you're going to find a better comp for that.
I was thinking he had a little bit of Kyle Schwarber in him. Schwarbaum.
But yeah.
The high strikeouts, high home run potential.
Potential to hit like 220, but like have 55 homers.
Exactly.
That's a good one. That's a good current one. Yeah.
That's what they pay for. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk contract. Let's talk teams. I don't know if we can think of a number because I think, with salaries rising in every league.
I think we could do a ballpark like year number.
I'll let you
like
do that.
Number.
I'll let you do that. So Okamoto first. Where would he fit? Where would you like to see him go? Where does he fit?
I mean, where would I like to see him go? I mean, as a Red Sox, like I grew up a Red Sox fan. So obviously as you get older, like you're not really, when you play baseball, I mean, timeout. There's some old dudes that care, when you play baseball at professional level, like once you get older, you're like, all right, I want my guys to do well, all my friends to do well, but I still have my Red Sox that I still enjoy watching them, but I still enjoy, I like watching everyone now because I've got friends everywhere. But the Red Sox, I mean, my brother-in-law is on the Red Sox, so that would be good for them to get better, It would be nice to see them there because Casas is hurt. We don't really know what Casas is going to be doing next year. He could end up DHing. Okamoto could be first. They could switch.
Ooh,
They could just swap. They could just swap back and forth.
They could switch. Yeah.
They can swap. They can swap, back and forth. And the Red Sox are in big need of right-handed bats, like very big need of right-handed bats. They are lefty heavy, like only 2-3 right-handed bats in that order. So they really need more. So I think that would be a really good one. Do they pay? The Red Sox are notoriously cheap. They just are. They don't sign free agents. Like, they don't pay guys that aren't from Boston, really. They have Yoshida, so that could be good, But I don't see them keeping Yoshida and having Okamoto because there's now 2 DH options with Casas there. So I think one of the Japanese players would not be there if Okamoto is there. I think Yoshida's gone. They trade him somehow. I don't know how they can have multiple DH options. I also wouldn't be surprised about the Mariners. It's close. Ichiro has connection there. It's the West Coast, and they have Naylor now, but they don't have a first baseman for the future.
How about going from the Giants to the Giants?
Same colors too. Could be a thing. I mean, they're on the hook for Devers, who's going to be playing first base a lot. But I mean,
Or
you have
DH.
a DH. They have a DH. They're trying to win.
All these West Coast teams make sense. Yeah.
Murakami could be a Padre because of the fact that they will pay more. Okamoto, I think, will be more of a lower. Like, it's not going to be a team that wants to spend 30-40 million each.
I think Murakami might very well be a New York Met.
I like it. Want to explain that?
I think Alonso will leave.
Okay.
I think there's a very good chance someone will pay a lot of money for Pete Alonso. I think Alonso's fed up with losing. I think Alonso needs playoff runs for his own career. He's not getting any younger. And I think the Mets will be absolutely scrambling for a first baseman with power. And that could be Okamoto, that could be Murakami. I think they make a play for Murakami because they've missed out on quite a few free agents in recent years. Where you go, obviously with Steve Cohen behind them, they are rich to the degree where you and I will never be able to understand that. I think New York will be in play for at least one of them.
You always have to.
It depends on Alonso. Depends on Alonso.
You always have to go back to the fact that where are the current Japanese guys playing? Because let me tell you, as a foreigner in a country that you've never been to, you want to feel like there's someone with you, you know? So they have Cody Senga right now over in New York. And then another option, obviously, is Chicago Cubs for, I think, Okamoto. I don't think that's going to be an option for Murakami. I think Okamoto has a chance to go there. They don't have really, like they have guys that kind of swip swap, you know, first. But I do think that that he could help be a righty bat in that order. The Cubs could be a potential destination there as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say contract details, though.
That's the last bit I wanted to get to. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say contract Okamoto. I'm thinking like a 5-6 year, get him through his 35 season. Probably at like a 25 to 30 a year clip. So we're looking at, depending on the years, 125 to 180, depending on the years, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay. How about Murakami?
How about you
get your internal calculator out for that one?
Murakami, I think, is going to be like a 10-year. Also gets him through his 34, 35 season.
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be about the same yearly, maybe 250, around that. That would be my guess. Just the hype that's come up with him, I think he'll be like 25 for 10 years, somewhere in there.
It's just the raw power potential.
And in my in my opinion, don't think that it's worth to go more than that for either guy.
No, I think that sounds fair. It'd be interesting to see where they go. It'd be very interesting to see where they end up. So this episode was based on your feedback. So, you asked, well, we asked, you answered, we delivered. So if you want more content like this, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. Instagram, leave a comment on YouTube. We do read those, don't we?
Yeah, sometimes. Well, you read them.
Yeah, I usually read them. Yeah.
And subscribe. Subscribe at that button or that button or that button or that button right there. And just subscribe.
Just subscribe. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.